there's a perception in the world that I don't need to see a financial advisor unless I have a lot of money. But what is a lot of money?
Mm.
And then you make the decision on an experiment of one yourself when you really don't know the answer to even that.
Welcome to One with the Other Way, a podcast about your journey and finances. I'm your host, James. Today we have Wanda and Peggy with us, and we're going to be talking about some commonly heard things. And I thought we would kind of start off this kind of like a funny episode. So Wanda, what are some things you hear as an advisor from either just random people or current clients?
We're
not speaking about current clients.
We're not speaking about current clients at all. Because
That'd be a
no
violation.
one would come into the office and say, hey, I'm retiring next month. Do I have enough money to do that? Or I think the most famous one is, when I retire, I'm going to need less money than I do now. That is like my all-time favorite. I won't need as much money when I retire.
Mm.
I'm going to pay less taxes when I retire. That's a good one, right?
Yes.
Well, I'm not going to have to pay as much taxes, right?
Yeah. I'm not going to have to pay taxes. Isn't there a senior rate for taxes?
Let's go down quickly one of those. Let's kind of start with, I want to retire next month. Do I have enough money to make it happen? Provide some context maybe about like, how does this end up happening?
Well, lots of ways. It depends on the clients, right?
It depends on the person. Yeah.
Yeah, it does. But I think that people come to us sometimes later than we would like.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we still want you to come, right? We still want you to come. If you're retiring next week and you need to know if you have enough money, you still come and see us. And maybe it's more important that you come and see us. But, the sooner you come, the better.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so we do have people who start thinking about retirement and then they realize, you know what, maybe I should talk to somebody about my finances.
Mm.
When in reality, you should talk to somebody about your finances much sooner than that if you can. I mean, everybody's in a different place. And I think that we need to start promoting getting information sooner. Go to see a financial advisor. Just find out. You don't know until you ask.
Do you think that there's a connection between people feeling like, oh, well, I don't have enough money to see a financial advisor yet, so they'll wait till they've accumulated more?
That's exactly. I think there's a perception in the world that I don't need to see a financial advisor unless I have a lot of money. But what is a lot of money?
Mm.
And then you make the decision on an experiment of one yourself when you really don't know the answer to even that.
Mm-hmm.
And so there's that fear that says, I don't have enough money to talk to a financial advisor. Again, you make the decision for yourself. Yeah, everyone needs to have a financial advisor. And I would argue that the minute you earn any money at all, to give that money context for now and in the future.
Mm.
Well, I think we should change it to, I want to have a successful financial life. And I would like to try to have financial independence. So I'm going to see a financial advisor.
Yeah, I think all of us want to have a life well lived. Is the most important thing. And if you want to have a life well lived, it's going to take money to make that happen. Money is the commodity that's going to help you have that life well lived. And if that's a high priority to you, and that's a resource, and we're the people that work in that environment, then you need to see us right away.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the next thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Make the time. Right? I need to see a financial advisor, but can we meet on Sunday? Well, you don't meet the doctor on Sunday, and you don't see a lot of car repair people on Sunday.
Mm.
So we're people too. We have professions. We're professionals. We have to, have hours. Yes, we will meet with you after hours on occasions, but I think that people need to understand that this is an important topic for you. And we also have work that we do outside of meeting with clients, a lot of it, right? So I think that you need to value your time. You need to value our time. We need to have that commitment of when can you meet? Now, that said, if you absolutely can only meet with us on a Saturday, or you can only meet with us at 5:30 at night, then, we are open to that. And we do service our clients in that way. But I think that we need to kind of shift that a little bit too, to make time. It's important. You make time for the doctor. You make time for other things that you have to make time for.
Yeah.
But this isn't a have to make time for, right? If you want a life well lived, then that needs to be a high priority. And I would argue that at 5:30 at night, you're not your best self. And so you're also doing yourself a disservice by coming to us so late. But one of the all-time favorites for me is, but I work all day.
Oh, right. Yeah.
As opposed to like you and I that
I thought you ate bonbons all day.
I do bonbons, and I drink coffee, lattes, and and I just do my nails. But it's a high priority. Getting this done. Maybe taking an extended lunch hour during the day. Again, you're doing yourself a service. Be awake and ready for that too. And we want your best life, and so we want to be able to communicate that in an effective way with you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What about the one where it's I quit my job yesterday, or I quit my job last week? Can we have a meeting? Oh man. Yeah. I mean, I understand that people quit their jobs for a lot of different reasons, and maybe you absolutely had to quit your job at that very moment. However, I think a lot of the cases, could you not have stuck it out a little bit longer until you found another job, or could we talk about it?
Remember that your job is where you're going to earn the money, right? To give you the life well lived. If you're thinking that you're going to quit your job, the time to talk to your financial advisors right then. If you're thinking about it, not because you're going to take the action necessarily, but you're thinking about it, and then we can lay the pros and the cons of this. You're making the decision, but part of that information is how it affects you financially on your financial journey. And so seeing us right away, we do understand sometimes you must leave a job. So,
right. And there's a lot of reasons, valid reasons to leave jobs. Sure, that's not absolutely a problem.
But context matters, right?
Right. So, and financial emergency is kind of a funny thing, right?
Yeah. What is an emergency to somebody?
Yeah. Well, speaking of emergencies, I just bought a sports car this weekend. Yeah. And I have wanted this my whole life. And me looking at my notes, you never mentioned that to me before.
Right.
Maybe
we could have helped you plan for that if you had told us that, and we've been working with you for 20 years. Me
looking at notes.
Get there, maybe.
No, right. Nothing there. I want you to have everything that you want in life, right? Whether it's a ticket to Kentucky Derby. I have that on a client list right now. I want you to be able to go guilt-free.
Oh yeah.
We are here to help you and to just,
and there's no judgment,
you with
right,
the information to make decisions.
Speaking of providing you with the information to make decisions, one of the things that's never ending fascinating to me is the secret account.
Oh, yeah.
This account over here. Now, if you go to the doctor and you have some kind of pain going on, you tell the doctor about the pain, about everything else that's going on physically, and then you're talking about what you're eating and what you're doing to help figure out how to solve for whatever it is that's going on physically. In financial planning, it's important for us to know everything about you with a dollar sign. Having a secret account, right, is communicating something to us, whether or not it's because you're using that secret account to buy the things that you really wanted, right, that you really have a vinyl record thing that you like and you like to purchase it. Well, then we want to make sure that you're able to purchase it no matter what's going on for the rest of your life. Again, we can't tell you no. We're only helping to provide clarity so that you know that you can achieve the things that you want in your life well lived, really.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And when we're making plans and we're discussing things with you and we're discussing, say you're getting closer to retirement, we're talking about your retirement and we're discussing plans for when you could retire or when you're going to buy that new whatever. it's important for us to have all the facts, to help you make the decision. And for us to feel like, oh, okay, yes, so we have everything. And so we look at this, we feel concern and want to make sure that you're going to have the money you need for the things that you need and the things that you want. And if you have this secret account, and I don't know if we really like that word secret account, but if you have an account that you haven't told us about for whatever reason, you might want to mention it so we can put it into the charts. And even if you say, well, this account is only here for this one thing, okay, then we know if it's something that you have told us that you want, but you have this account over here that you've been saving for it, then that plays into the overall picture.
I think we talked about trust. You have to trust. All the information is going to be confidential. And so you want to have that transparency with us. And we will have transparency with you. And I don't know that even just that you say we feel concerned. We are concerned. We are concerned that you have everything that you want in your retirement, not just the basics, but like I said, the retirement that you want. And in general, when you do step away from work for money, then you do find that you will need more. You generally will need more money because there's things that you want to do, and you have more free time. And with more free time,
you
start to look around. You spend, and you're like, oh, hey, I'd like to travel. I'd like to do something.
Depends on who you are, but right, if I have free time.
I want to go back to what you said originally at the beginning was, oh, I'm going to spend less in retirement. Now, Wanda, you had mentioned before on a previous podcast about the retirement boom years. And I just want you to kind of highlight that again, what you mean by that.
We've talked about the current life, your working life. What generally happens in my experience over my 30 odd years is you go into what I call a retirement boom years. And in those retirement boom years, you become more active. You travel more. You do more things. Maybe you might even pick up a hobby. You might learn how to golf. And you're generally spending more money during these retirement boom years. And then you start to slow down. Maybe it's grandchildren that slow you down. Maybe it's your inability to get around as quickly. You start to slow down. And then you go into another phase where you need more medical costs. And so as financial advisors, we're thinking about all of those experiences that you're going to have in your financial life. The working, the retirement boom years, the mellow years, and then the medical things. And we want to make sure we're covering for all.
And we understand that you're going to spend differently. And maybe that's the more accurate choice. We're going to spend less. You're going to spend differently, right? Because there probably are things that you won't be spending on, right? You're no longer going to have to pay that same fuel cost for commuting. Or, you're going to get a different kind of car, or you're going to whatever, things are happening in your life. So you're going to downsize your house. Maybe you're going to make a bigger house or get a bigger house. Who knows? But
stop talking about me.
Right. You do. But those things, it's different. You're going to spend differently, and we understand that. And we're here to help walk through that process. And a lot of things change when you retire. So like Wanda said, maybe you're going to pick up a hobby. Maybe you're going to travel. That is, I think, the number one thing that people say. What are you going to do when you retire? Because, we want to know. We ask this question. We also want to provide clarity about it. And also we encourage you to practice your retirement, right, Wanda?
Yes, I do. I want you to have those specific events. Exactly.
Right,
so you can feel it.
But I think that people say, I'm going to travel. And then the next thing is, well, we're going to spend less. But just those two things. It's like, okay, well, how much do you travel now? And then you're going to travel. So we need to put those into your plans.
Unless the person's already traveling that often at that point.
That is correct, but generally you travel differently.
That's also true.
When you retire, right? So maybe you're going to do smaller trips, or you're going to go and see your grandkids more often, or maybe you're not. Who knows? But it's just about difference. It's going to be different, and we want to discuss that with you.
Talking about it, right? You're having an experience of one. We've had an experience of many, many people that have gone through retirement. So we can talk to, because you do things differently. And then all of a sudden, maybe, you can't live in an economy seat anymore on a plane, but you must have the business seat. Well, then we're going to have to put that in the plan. And so practicing your retirement a little bit beforehand helps us to provide clarity. So what it is that we need ultimately.
Well, so I think also our goal in the practice thing and all the discussions that we have with retirement is to really to service our clients. You know, there's a lot of people who retire, but they didn't really understand what that was going to be like, right? Like people are unhappy in their jobs or, oh, it's this grind and I'm just going on and whatever, right? So, okay, you're not going to do that anymore. Now you have a ton of free time. And some people handle that really, really well. And they find new things and they fill it with new things. Other people, they could become isolated. They stop doing things. A lot of things could change. So we encourage you to think about it and to experiment with it.
So statistically, we're going to live right till our late 80s. Statistically, the key thing that talks about how long we'll live and the length of our life has to do with our community and isolation. And so addressing that sooner rather than later allows you to have, again, that life well lived. You're not going to save and accumulate this money so that you don't have the retirement in all of its dimensions, in its length, in its time, in its resource, all of its dimensions and all of its beauty.
I consider this a pretty wise saying. I'm trying to remember where I heard it from. Might have heard it from John Deloney, who's a radio talk show guy, but he does like a lot of like counseling and stuff. But he had said, wherever you go with you. And so if you're not happy where you are now at your current job, it may not be because of the job that you're not happy. If you go and you, maybe it is, but maybe it's not. And so the same you that's leaving the job is going to be the same you that goes into retirement.
So there is no question that we have not already heard or no statement. And we do not want to poke at you or suggest right behind our hand, right? The best thing to do is we are people too. We have said dumb things to other people. We have said dumb things to mechanics. I mean, just like to doctors, whatever. And so those professionals, you know, take in what we say. They have their experience in their lane. Our experience is here in the financial lane. So come out and challenge us. Give us a statement that'll make us smile with you.
Well, thank you for listening to today's podcast. Schedule an appointment with Wanda or Peggy. You can find us at financesforreallife.com. You can follow this podcast on Spotify, Apple Music, and YouTube. And we look forward to hearing you in the next 2 weeks.
Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA, SIPC. Investment advice offered through Finances for Real Life, a registered investment advisor and separate entity from LPL Financial. The opinions voiced in this podcast are for general information only and are not intended to provide specific advice or recommendations for any individual. To determine which strategies or investments may be suitable for you, consult the appropriate qualified professional prior to making a decision.